So we're going to continue to have those people work at the same time. So, Mr. Hogan, if you would, if you'll go through the explanation of the bill so everybody can understand it. And I hope all of you read the legislation, because I think some of the emails I've got would indicate to me that some of you haven't read the legislation, so you're panicking over something that doesn't exist in the legislation. So this is why we have these hearings, so that everybody becomes aware of it. Senator Michael Ring is coming in now, so we have, with the proxies, we'll have 5 of us up here this morning. So, Mr. Hogan, if you would go forward with the bill, I'd appreciate it. Sometimes that light doesn't work.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I will try to talk.
That's right.
I believe we're on. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll turn it off.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Senators. Senators, the package that you have in front of you has 2 documents. Of course, has a copy of the bill, S-687, and there's a copy of the summary. Mr. Chairman, I should point out that the summary will reflect that there are 4 sections to this bill. There was somewhat of a drafting error in that the bill itself only shows 3 sections, but I have spoken with legal staff in the clerk's office, and they've acknowledged that this is a Scrivener's error that they can fix, so you will eventually see online a bill that does denote 4 sections, just as the summary shows you today.
Well, for you in the audience out there, you can go online at scstatehouse.gov and you can search. There's a section on there, search for Bill 687. So you can find the bill online and you can read it, and all the details you'd like to see will be on there.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Section 1 of the bill deals with mobile veterinary practice. It offers some definitions and puts down the limitation of a nonprofit mobile operating within 7 miles of a private veterinary practice. It also says that a mobile must identify and provide information on the closest emergency service available. Section 2 begins with definitions. It defines animal shelter. An animal shelter can be an entity that contracts with a state, county, or other subdivision of state government. It can be a veterinary hospital that operates as such in addition to their customary purposes, or it can be a humane society or animal welfare society operating in that manner as well. It defines veterinary services. It states that shelters providing vet services are under the purview of LLR and the Board of Veterinary Medical Examiners. It makes reference to animal records, both written and electronic. All animal shelters will keep animal records for all animals receiving care. They must be maintained 3 years after the final entry, and they are provided to the adopter or the foster owner upon receipt of the animal. The shelter record is a census of the animals and the means of their discharge from the particular facility. It must contain the mailing and street addresses and the working telephone number of the shelter, and the report is due on January 31st of each year to the Board of Veterinary Examiners. It also deals with the scope of service. Shelter services, veterinary services are available for any animals that are owned and held for adoption at the shelter. Services are also available to any member of the public to the extent that it's the sterilization procedures or anything deemed necessary by the attending vet at the time of sterilization, microchip implantation, vaccinations, and parasite treatments. There are conditions on additional services for low-income owners that needs to be documented through Medicaid, SNAP, pay stubs consistent with poverty guidelines set by HHS, or proof of unemployment. And finally, in Section 3, we deal with the issue of prescription drugs. All labeling strictures set forth by state and federal government must be adhered to. Distribution must be by a licensed veterinarian only, and there is a penalty, of course, for violation, up to $200 or up to 30 days prison, or perhaps both in some cases. Chairman, that's a summary of S-687.
Any comments by the panel before we go forward and allow any testimony? I think we're ready to go. Davis, you're welcome to join us.
I'm in the wrong pew here. Sorry, don't carry on.
I think he's escaping. Somebody put a dog tag on him.
Say something.